Gotta unmute my microphone, maybe. Hello, and welcome
Oh,
to the Midwest Speedfest Runner Spotlight, another rendition of it. I'm joined today by the ever so wonderful, ever so sweet Jax. How are you doing tonight?
hey Newt. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Not too bad. Honestly, a little tired today, but that's fine. Never unmute, that's right. Hello to everyone out there in chat that decided to come watch this. Always appreciate people hanging out for these. Those of you in chat, if you have any questions for Jax along the way, feel free to shout out questions whenever. I'll probably be drawing from those every now and then. So, yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Yeah,
Things have been a little bit crazy lately with Corona,
a
but
little bit.
yeah, I'm at my parents' house right now, so
Oh,
not
yeah,
too much going on. I had
I
extended spring
suppose.
break actually that went until today, and
Okay.
then my university's going with online lectures now for the rest of the semester, I believe.
Well, for the rest of the semester.
Yeah,
Wow. Dang. That's crazy. Kind of feel sorry for some people that have like graduation coming up this semester then.
yeah. They said that commencement is going to be pushed back, and they're not really sure how it's going to be resolved just yet. But
Dang. That's crazy. Um Hopefully we can provide a little bit of an escape for for some people out there with
for an hour or
this.
so.
So, let's get right to it. You are here today because you ran a little game called Celeste for
Hmm.
Midwinter Speed Sprinter. Do you want to tell me a little bit about like what got you to this point? What got you interested in running Celeste?
Sure. Um, Okay, so I think I found Celeste through it was either Cheese was playing it or he raided Tej and he was playing it. It was
Okay.
one of the two. I guess sort of I'll back up a little bit further. Um, because I found Twitch through Stivity Bobo doing 100% speedruns of Banjo Kazooie.
Okay.
So I know Zojalix mentioned him
Yeah.
last week. But yeah, I was playing that game on spring break a couple years ago and then stumbled across a speedrun video on YouTube. And
Hmm.
that was sort of how I both found Twitch and speedrunning. And then from there, I think I saw summoning salt videos and found Cheese and then Teed. And I watched his runs for a while and then got the game myself in late 2018. I forget exactly when, but that's about when I got it.
Okay. And so you just sort of did you go into it with the intention of like maybe speedrunning it, or did you just buy the game because it looked like a really cool game at
Honestly,
first?
I don't remember if I
Okay.
wanted to speedrun it or not. It just looked like a game I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I think as I like got to 100% completion, speedrunning it just seemed like the next logical step.
Hmm.
And I just sort of got into it from there. I definitely wasn't fast for a while. I just sort of played the levels a few times and started doing runs.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Do you remember how long your first playthrough took for
Oh
the
God, it
game?
was like 8 or 9 hours, I think, to beat
Okay.
Summit.
Okay. Jeez.
And then I think full 100% took me like 40 or 50. Because I remember both of the core levels took me ages. I was so
Yeah.
bad at the game back then. I remember just like yelling at myself, hold grab, because I just forget to press the buttons.
Yeah, I am in that boat right now. I
Yeah.
just started playing Celeste a few days ago, and
How far in are you?
I just finished Temple.
Okay.
Yeah, so getting close to the end of sort of like
Hmm.
the base game, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
But oh, the first couple hours of playing that game is just like,
It feels
what
really
do all of
slow.
these buttons do?
Yeah, for sure.
oh, I'm absolutely in love with it right now, though.
That's
Such
good
a
to
good
hear.
game. um, wow. So you are a recent, sort of recently have gotten into speed running
Hmm. Yeah.
in general. What sort of games did you play prior to learning that speed running was a thing? Had you
Um,
much?
Honestly, not a ton. Like as a kid, I had an N64 console and a Wii
Mm-hmm.
and a DS, and I think that was it.
Okay.
I really like didn't do much PC gaming or anything. Like I didn't have a laptop until a couple years ago. I never really used my family's PC to do gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think throughout like middle school or whatever, I played like games on my phone or whatever. And that was about all that I did. I brought some of like the N64 games that I had as a kid here because
Ooh,
I'm
let's
again
go.
at home. So
Yeah, I
one
want to
that
see
we
some
played
of
as a
these.
family a lot was Dr. Mario.
Nice. It's a
So
classic.
yep. And then Mario Kart 64 we didn't do a ton with, but I definitely have it.
Oh yeah.
Um, there were some that like my dad would play, but my sibling and I didn't really want to. And so one of those was Kirby 64. So we would just like tell him what
Oh.
to do and he would play.
That's
And
awesome.
we would all play like Harvest Moon in 64. We had one file
Yes,
that
let's
we had a
go.
few years in. And then Banjo Kazooie, obviously I mentioned that
Classic.
one already. And probably the two that I played the most were Gauntlet Legends and Mario Tennis. Both of these I
Oh,
would play
Gauntlet.
with my dad a lot. Um,
Yeah,
I have a lot of fond memories playing N64 with him for hours on end.
that's awesome. That's so
Um,
cool.
yeah,
I never grew up with an N64, so I never really played a lot of those games
yeah.
until I was older. Um,
Did you get a console or have you like emulated them?
uh, I played them with friends in high school a little bit. A couple
Okay.
friends of mine that had N64s. Um, and then I've emulated a couple
Hmm.
games. Nothing too crazy though. And Virtual Console on like Wii and Wii U. It's
Sure,
been
sure.
great for that. Um, people popping off for Mario Tennis in the chat. Let's go.
But honestly, it's a lot of fun.
I
The
have.
game has a fair number of intricacies actually that you
Oh,
just like,
really?
yeah, you start to kind of learn how stuff works when you get more hours in it.
Interesting. That's awesome. Um, yeah. So I guess I guess when was it that you said that you sort of got into speedrunning, sort of discovered it for the first time?
Uh, let me, I can just check on Steve's channel when I followed him because he was the first person I followed.
Okay.
I think it was early 2018, potentially late
2018.
2017.
Okay.
Um, followed since April 23rd, 2018.
Okay.
So yeah, spring break 2018 was I think when I found his channel.
Okay. What got you interested in watching Stivity Bobo?
I saw his 100% speedrun record on YouTube. I forget if it was former or current.
Okay.
And was just like really intrigued. And I saw watch live on twitch.tv or whatever. Um, and stopped by and it was cool. It was something that I was new to, like
Yeah.
streamed content. So it was chill. It was something that was sort of new to me.
Yeah.
Um, and from there I found other people who played the game like Hag and Dickus Khan, who's now Duck. Um,
Mhm.
and then sort of just explored Twitch from there.
That's really
Uh,
interesting.
yeah.
Um, so it was Stivy's 100% world record at the time, or PB at the time, something along those lines. That's really fascinating. You don't see that with a lot of speedrunners, that it was like a specific speedrun video that got them interested in
Yeah,
speedrunning. I guess I'm from the era of people learning about speedrunning through GDQ. I
sure.
know that's what
I
my first like taste of it was.
Funnily enough, well, obviously, since I live in the Minneapolis area,
Yeah.
SGDQ was near me, but I didn't find out about it until after you could sign up because I followed him in like April, and I just
Yeah.
didn't know GDQ was a thing that existed, and so I wasn't able to attend SGDQ 18, um, and didn't pay to go to AGDQ because that would be much more like travel expenses for
Yes.
me.
It
But
is.
then did make it to SGDQ 19 because local and pretty easy to make it to that.
Okay. Okay. So you have been to a GDQ just to
Hmm.
attend before? That's awesome.
Yes, yeah.
I
I did not run
I
anything.
was going to ask you that because I know Midwinter ended up being your first marathon experience where you've ran a game at a marathon.
Uh, Actually, I ran Celeste any percent in a race with Nintendo Capri Sun about a year ago now at, what's it called? Versus Expo. It was put on by,
Oh,
um, so I think Konosumi was there. Is that how you say his
yeah,
name?
yep, Konosumi.
And a few other people that I recognize the names of. But yeah, I drove to Chicago for that. That was last
Yo,
April.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
But yeah, that marathon wasn't too speedrun focused. It was, I mean, it's in the name, Versus Expo, so it was more about like races and
Yeah.
having cool stuff like that.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that race at some point.
Yeah, that was a cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, after what? Yeah. So then, what was your first experience like attending GDQ? Like, I want to hear a little bit about that.
Okay. So that was June last year. Let's see. I drove from home because I didn't want to pay for hotel.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there all the time, which I feel like detracts a lot from the
Oh,
experience.
you.
Let me just say, if you
Oh,
live local to a GDQ, find a way to room with people you want to be with. If it's an Airbnb, like closer to the hotel, that may feel weird to like not stay at the venue, but like that's obviously cheaper than a hotel or
yeah.
pay the hotel. It's so much of the experience
It
is staying
is.
there. That's definitely something I regret
Yeah.
and something that I will uh, try to fix this summer because I do plan to
Yes.
attend GDQ SGDQ 2020 if it happens.
If it
Yeah, who
happens,
knows?
hope for the best there.
But yeah, I met a lot of
Definitely
cool
hope.
people that I knew from the Celeste community.
Yeah.
I met people, I hung out with people I'd already like hung out with in VCs on Discord.
Hmm.
It was a really cool experience.
Yeah. I'm.
Sort of meeting people that you know from online in person.
Yeah, it's really nice that you had the Celeste community to hang out with there too.
Mhm.
It can be super intimidating to show up to one of those and like not know anybody
Yeah.
at it. And that was my first experience. It was like SGDQ 2017, I think it was,
Okay.
that I literally knew like nobody there. But
Yeah.
fun fact about speedrunners is that they're like super friendly for the
Yeah.
most part. There's a ton of friendly people in speedrunning. Easy to make friends. But yes, I want to backpedal to your previous point. I've been trying to convince other local people that you do need to stay at the hotel
Yeah.
at some point, if not once, just to take it all in, I suppose.
Yeah. I did end up staying, I think Wednesday night or something. I like slept on the floor of a friend's room because I
Nice.
wanted to catch the Glover run at like 5 a.m.
Yes.
Because
Let's
YP,
go.
I know him from Celeste people, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that run was amazing. Um I want to talk about like other runs then. I know Celeste is like your speed game.
Sure.
Um but are there any other speed runs that you take particular interest in? Any that you enjoy to watch?
Okay. Um, Banjo-Kazooie, I assume you could guess because I mentioned that a few times now.
Yes.
Other than that, I've gotten a little bit into HK running just because I know a few people who run that game, but not a ton. Honestly, like other stuff, I guess, sort of in a similar vein to Celeste. There's like 2D platformers like um, Gato Roboto. I've seen
Mhm.
Oddbad do runs of that. It looks like a cool speed game.
Yeah.
Um, Other stuff like A Short Hike, which by the way is on sale on Steam right now.
Oh, nice.
Looks like a cool run. It's a very short game. I think the any percent speed run's like 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes.
Sounds like a Sex
Uh,
Rex game.
and yet, like the 100% category is like 10 minutes or something.
Okay.
Um, Not a ton, honestly. I haven't been into speedrunning too long, so I feel like I don't
Yeah.
know that many games.
That's fair.
So I guess
That's totally
that's
fair.
something to sort of broaden my horizons a bit.
Um
I've certainly watched my share of like SM64 and SMO runs,
mhm.
but it's never been something that I'm too into. I didn't play too many Mario games as a kid.
Yeah. I get that. Um, like, I know a short hike, any percent. Thanks for adding me. You're welcome, Sex Rex. Um, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I had something that I was gonna say anyway. Moving on, I suppose. So, uh, there are a couple games. Oh yeah, that's another thing that GDQ is really good for, is checking out like a bunch of other games that you might
Hmm.
not have known about otherwise. Um, I know if not through the stream, I usually don't spend a ton of time in the stream room at GDQs. I'm usually just like hanging out with friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But even through like other friends and stuff, there's like always speedrunning going on everywhere throughout GDQ, and it's really, really interesting to see people like playing these different games in the practice room and everything. Um, Come on, I think it's a good idea.
I've watched YP stream that one. It looks like an interesting speed run, to say
it
to
is
say
a
the least.
very interesting speed run. Uh have to go back and watch. It was Fingerquick that ran that at Midwinter, I believe.
Mm. Yeah, I saw that was that at like 3 a.m. or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was, I think, a couple games before Wild Animal Racing.
Okay.
Oof, that's a game too. But speaking of Midwinter, you obviously ran Celeste at Midwinter. Can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
It was a lot of fun. I was much more excited going into this one than I was last year, because last year I'd only been running the game like 4 or 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I think there I missed my PB by like 2 minutes or something, on top of a PB that already felt pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this year I've gotten a lot better since then, and I felt like I could be more consistent. And so going in, I wasn't as nervous about the run.
Yeah.
I felt like I could just sort of play the game and talk if I needed to, and I might make mistakes. I certainly did, but I feel like overall, I was confident in my ability to like put out a run that I was happy with.
It was an extremely entertaining run, I have
I'm
to
glad
say.
everybody enjoyed it.
It was really cool. Cool to have. That was our first Celeste run, believe it or not, at a
Yeah.
Midwest Speedfest event, not counting Celeste Classic.
Did you have that on a
That
few years ago?
Yeah, Sexrex ran that
Okay.
back in like 2016, I believe. Funny enough, the marathon that we don't have any videos of anymore.
Oh no.
Lost to time. Yep.
What does this email? Sex with green hair. Okay.
Gotta love it. Um, yeah, it was really, really cool. And it was super fun to watch people in the crowd. Because there were a lot of people that like were just regular con goers that showed up to
Yeah.
the speed run, and it was awesome to watch you blow their minds with
Did you see like
Celeste.
what people reacted to and whatnot?
Yeah, yeah. Like some
I'm
of
interested
those.
actually. I watched it back to read chat, but I didn't watch it back to look at the crowd.
Yes,
I might need to
do it
that.
to watch the crowd. It's really fun.
Okay.
People are having a really fun time with it. This guy doesn't know what classic Maddie looks
Yes, I
like.
do. I played my share of Pico 8.
Back in his day, it wasn't Pico 8, it was just Celeste.
This is true, yes.
Oh,
People
man.
have called Celeste New Lest if they're more of a fan of Pico 8 or Classic,
New
whatever people
List.
call it.
I played a little bit of. I ended up unlocking Pico 8 already
Okay.
in my playthrough, and I played it a little bit, and wow, it's just not the same game.
It feels
at
really
all.
different, yeah.
Feels
You,
really
like,
really different.
can't buffer inputs, obviously no grabbing or speed tech, like supers and hypers. That's a new list. Okay, sex. Sure.
Oh, give me just
Is
a
it doing stuff?
second. I think my internet like died.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Okay, it's coming back. It's coming back. My bit rate just like dropped to 0 for a second.
Oh no.
Sorry
Okay,
about
I've
that.
had that happen recently.
I hope it doesn't happen again. um, other than that, it should be fine. Oh, you can buffer inputs in Pico 8 though.
Oh, you can?
Interesting.
Is it smaller than the buffer window you have in Celeste?
That could be. Um, I think you are frozen for me real quick. So if you don't mind, I'm going to. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, did that
That's
fix
better.
it?
Yes,
Okay,
that
cool.
did. Oh, sorry about that. Um, what were we talking about? Celeste, Pico 8. Guess do you want to talk a little bit about what sort of draws you into Celeste as a speed game? What makes it interesting for you to keep running?
Sure. Um, so I got into it with any percent because it's probably like the most beginner friendly category. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's like the least amount of stuff to learn.
Yeah.
And sort of kind of quickly realized that it's not like the only thing I wanted to do. Um, so like recently, for instance, I've been playing All Hearts, which is a much longer category that involves getting all of the hearts in the game, as the
Yeah.
name suggests. It's essentially quickest route to 8C.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so the thing I like about that run is sort of the variety you get.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of feels like you're playing every level of the game because the A sides of Celeste are certainly, and honestly, B sides and C sides feel like a different game. It's like the level design is very different, and the mechanics are obviously the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool to play more of it. And
Hmm.
as far as like speedrun tech in general, um, as you get better at this game, it gets more rewarding to go fast.
Okay.
It's a ton of fun to play this game fast because you can see in like the fluidity of your move
Yeah.
getting better, and like your times will go down. With practice tools, you can see like times for segments coming down,
Okay.
um, and you can also just feel yourself getting faster, and it's really rewarding to play and get better at.
That's
I think
yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest things that's like kept me playing the game. I'm up to like 1,500 hours now or something,
Yeah.
um, which is
Oh my
more than I ever
god.
thought I'd have in any game.
I imagine that has a lot to do with the difficulty curve of the
Sure, yeah.
speedrun. Because of course Celeste is a pretty difficult platformer in general, but then having all of this speed tech that you can cram into it as well just keeps upping the difficulty curve for speedrunning it.
Hmm.
So like the better you get at it, the harder some things become. Like the
There's
the more like difficult tricks you'll try and pull off and
yeah,
yeah.
there's essentially no skill cap for this game.
Yeah.
Uh, because like you can see what people do in any percent. One thing that I've noticed recently is that there are a bunch of strats that Marlon goes for in City that I would never have expected to see in any percent.
Mhm.
And he does them because he can save about 2 seconds there, or what he used to do. And then even comparing stuff that Marlon goes for, and he's crazy. The strats he does in
Yeah.
80% are insane. But if you compare some of that to what like Zcad has done in ILs, and it's like there's still so much more where this game could go. And so it's really hard to see like where speedrunning in this game might go because you can say, okay, there's a ton of stuff that people could add, but it becomes a game of optimizing every single input to be frame
Yes.
perfect, which is crazy hard.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a couple inputs in that speed run.
Yeah.
It's it's a super fascinating speed game, and I mean, it's no wonder that it's as popular as it is because it is a super accessible run.
For sure.
Um,
It's on like every major platform. You can just pick it up and start playing. It's real easy to create a new file, stuff like that.
yeah. And yet it like you said, it really has no skill ceiling to it, which keeps people going at it time and time again.
Hmm.
It could just be better. It could be so much better every single time. Oh, it's a really cool speed run. I have to admit. Um, what are some of your like most iconic speedrunning moments that you've had for yourself with Celeste. I
Oh
know
gosh.
one that I watched in particular. I watched your first sub 30 run.
Okay.
You popped off pretty hard at the end of that one.
Yeah. Sub 30 grind for me was pretty grueling. There was a period of a couple weeks where I did attempts every day. I wasn't streaming every day, but I did attempts every day and got very winnable paces in every session and just kept choking. And
Mm,
so when I finally got sub 30, I knew it wasn't a good run, but that's something about number barriers and speedrunners, and
yeah.
it felt really good. Um, Other stuff. I've had a lot of funny things happen. Like, there's a clip of me. I noticed that on my Benny percent splits, which Sexlex mentioned that which I've had for about a year now. The prologue split was mistyped as prologe, and I just like had a stroke on stream while playing prologue, and it's
Nice.
just so there's clips of like that. I don't know. I've had funny stuff happen. So it's weird stuff can happen in the game. Like if a dash ends right before you hit a heart, you'll just bounce off of it, which can be
Oh,
funny
weird.
at the end of like B or C sides. Um, as far as like runs that I've had that felt really good, my actually the run that I was most proud of for a long time was my 32-18 any%.
Okay.
I got that in April last year, and it was an 80-second PB at the time, I
Wow.
think. Which is it's big for
Yeah.
going like from a mid 33 to a low 32. And
That's huge.
I didn't play the category like seriously until September. No,
Dang.
yeah, September, 5 months I think. I got a lot better at the game in the interim. Um, I guess other stuff that I felt really proud of in the game is playing Lockout Bingo. Actually,
Oh, really?
it's a very different way of speedrunning the game.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit
Um,
about how that works for Celeste? I'm
sure.
not familiar.
So we use Bingo Sync to generate boards, and there's 25 objectives, and the first person to get 13 wins.
Okay.
If somebody gets an objective, the other player cannot.
Yeah.
And so there's stuff like 10 berries in 1A, get a 1-up in 2 chapters,
Okay.
um, complete 2 A sides and 2 B sides, stuff like 6 hearts. So there's a bunch of different objectives, and it involves a lot of like on the fly routing
Yeah.
to sort of predict where your opponent's going to go, find synergy on the board.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds really, really cool.
yeah, it's a really cool, like interactive, and it involves a lot of thinking, which can be really stressful, but it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, Lockout Bingo, like Sexrex just said, it's a super cool rule set.
Mhm.
And it's really cool to see how it can be used in different games. I wasn't familiar that you could use that in Celeste, but I guess, yeah, it makes sense. That's
Yeah,
neat.
I think the people who originally made the generator were inspired by seeing SMS Lockup Bingo on GDQ,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sort of where it came from.
That was a really fun run. Um,
Actually, speaking of which, I submitted a match with M Sushi to GDQ 2020, so
let's go.
we'll see if that gets in. It was honestly a really, really good match. It went to 13-12. I didn't win, spoilers if you haven't seen the recording, but it was very close. So hopefully that's
That
something
would be
that can get in.
sick. I hope it does. That's really cool. It's really cool to start seeing a lot of um I guess different formats like that popping up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
GDQs.
They're trying to spice it up, I imagine. They've
Yeah,
been going a
exactly.
decade now.
With a lot of the more popular speed runs have made countless appearances at GDQs so far.
Sure, yeah.
It's nice to see something a little bit fresh. Um, SMS was inspired by an old Ocarina of Time thing they did a few times. Yeah, I know they've
Okay.
done bingo a couple of times at GDQ for Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina
Yo,
of
let's
Time is
go.
like where the bingo format really started, I believe. Um, yeah, it's neat to see those formats showing up in marathons. Um, what are your then what are your future plans in terms of speed running? Um,
Um,
gonna keep sticking to Celeste. Are there any other games that you might be interested, or is Celeste still
I'm not sure, honestly.
okay?
I've been doing other categories other than any percent right now, but I don't know how much longer I'm gonna like keep with it.
Yeah.
Uh, because it's nice to like take a break and maybe
Mm-hmm.
come back a few months down the road. But I've been like looking around for other games that I want to run, and nothing really sticks. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Breath of the Wild casually, and I actually just got a capture card today and set it up.
Okay.
Um, so I may stream that, and if
Ooh,
I, runs of that seem kind of weird, I haven't looked into
they
it,
are.
so I don't. That doesn't seem like something I'd want to do. So I don't really have many other speed plans other than sort of keep playing Celeste. I may honestly the way like how different categories are in Celeste, it's almost like playing a different game. So like
Mm-hmm.
you can learn top level any percent, and then if you want to go play like something like all red berries, you have to completely relearn the route.
Yeah.
Like
Completely different route.
I imagine with other games it's similar. Like you have to relearn a bunch of stuff, but with ARB, for example, you have to like every berry is a deviation from what you've done,
Yeah.
and it's another room to learn. And then stuff like all hearts, you've got to learn completely new levels, like one, two, three, four, 7, and 8B. Nobody does in any percent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe if you don't do 5 or 6B, there's more levels to learn.
Yeah.
And so it's just it feels like there's a ton of stuff that I can still do in this game, that I'll probably keep with for a while.
Okay. Um, a little bit of lore drop in the in the chat here. Sorry to cut you off, but I guess Sexrex came up with the lockout variant for um
Oh,
uh
cool.
yeah, that's really cool. All
Just like the concept of somebody
almost
ticking it
varies.
off and then not
Yeah, that's really
being able
cool.
to do it
I
for
did
you.
not know that. Um, but yeah, I imagine you grind in so much muscle memory to like any percent. It's really hard to break from that and
Yeah.
do like different route different rooms.
Speaking of, if I'm not paying attention, like at the start of an all B sides run, um, the run starts differently. Normally, you'll play all of prologue, which is like a 30-second long intro,
Hmm.
but with all B sides, you go to the left and enter a dev cheat code, and there have been runs where I like catch myself just like playing prologue, and it's like, wait a second,
Hold
something's
on.
wrong.
uh,
So
that's
that's not
interesting.
not too far into the run, but definitely gets me.
Yeah, it's cool to see just how different the categories for Celeste are. Keeps it fresh. I imagine it's nice from a speedrunning perspective, though, to learn different categories and stuff to
Yeah,
sort of keep yourself from going stale.
yeah, it feels like you can mess up and still like feel happy with how you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. Not necessarily finding any other games. And I mean, time and time again, I've said this a bunch of times on these spotlights so far. It all comes down to finding games that you enjoy for
Hmm.
speedrunning. Like if you don't, I find it hard to like look for new games to speedrun, like specifically to
Yeah,
speedrun games. You just find yourself going stale with them so much. It needs to happen naturally, I guess.
yeah, like a game that you enjoy, but then it also has to have like the additional criteria of making sense to speedrun.
Yes, exactly.
Um, I played Pokemon Uranium a while back, which is a fan-made
Oh
Pokemon game,
yeah.
and I actually did learn the route for that.
Mm.
And I would be more interested in speedrunning it if my PC could handle the game. Uh,
Mm.
it when using OBS, the game just doesn't run as fast as it
Oh
should,
yeah.
and it's not like it skips frames. It just lags,
Yeah.
and so it ends up adding over time. And I think it probably ended up. I did most of a full run, and I think it added up to about like 45 minutes or something
Wow.
of just like slow.
Oh my god.
And I never got around to testing it on a more powerful machine. Um,
About how long was that run total
the
then?
record run is like 3 hours or so.
Okay.
And with the mistakes I made, I was estimating that I should be able to get about a 4 hour run. And
Okay.
I got to the Elite Four at like 5 hours in.
Wow.
So
That's so
either I
much
made more
time.
mistakes than I imagined, or it's just hardware limitations.
No, hardware limitations can be a huge issue. I know I had a lot of problems with that for Fancy Pants with my old computer.
Yeah.
Streaming it, it would just sort of lag the game a lot. And when I was running OBS, my load times would be like a lot longer, so I was losing like 20 to 30 seconds
Oh
for each
gosh.
run, which sucks because you go and do a run on like a good computer, and then all of a sudden
You
you
just like get better
save
times
like
for no
30
reason.
seconds. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. uh oh well, so is life.
Mm.
um uh what are some of the other things that you do in your life, some other hobbies that you
Mm.
have outside of speedrunning or playing games or anything like
Um,
that? If you have any spare time, that is.
yeah, I'd say my main other hobby is playing music. I have
Nice.
played clarinet and sax since fifth and sixth
Yes,
grade,
let's go.
respectively. And so I have been playing in my university's symphonic band for the last few semesters.
Yes.
Um, I don't know how that's going to look this semester because online classes
Yeah.
we can't rehearse. But yeah, those are actually those
Online
concerts
band.
have been streamed to YouTube, and I had a friend. I don't know if anybody's he was in chat earlier. Coral Reef. He streamed it to my Twitch channel so that
Oh
I
my
could have
gosh,
a
that's
VOD
awesome.
for it. But yeah, I've played like in jazz bands. I've played in some honor bands, and then obviously concert bands.
Let's go. Oh, I love music so much. I
Yeah, that's been a pretty big part of my life, especially in
Yeah,
high school.
that's awesome. I've I've played percussion since like 5th grade and played it all through
Okay,
high school and college.
cool.
Um and I was in my college's symphonic band for a couple years. Oh,
Nice.
I'm I miss that. Mostly miss that. There was oh god. One time we played this song called Casey at the Bat. Are you
Okay,
familiar with it?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you don't. It's first and foremost, it's a poem about this baseball player named Casey who comes up to play ball and just like strikes out and loses. So it's like a sad ending anyway. Um, but my band director one year decided that we were going to do it, and it was just like this really lame like music that we would play in between verses of my band director saying the poem. Yeah, exactly. It was terrible, and like some of it was like spoken word stuff, so we'd have to be like cheering as the
Oh
crowd or
God.
whatever. And
Okay.
then the icing on the cake, being a percussionist, I've played a lot of weird things
Yeah,
in
for
my
sure.
life. I was assigned the part to play the baseball mitt in
What?
this song. Yeah, so every time that like Casey got a strike or whatever, I was supposed to sit there and just like smack a baseball and a baseball mitt together so it sounded like the ball hitting the mitt. And it
Okay.
was the most awkward, just like, oof. Yeah, it was rough.
This reminds me of another song that I played.
Oh
It's
yeah?
called I can put links in chat, right?
Yeah, do it.
Just to the YouTube. Okay, so this is a song by Eric Whitacre called Godzilla Eats Las Vegas.
Oh my god.
And,
That sounds like an
uh,
Eric Whitaker thing
so
too.
the song itself, it has screaming in it. The ensemble's supposed to scream at various points
Yes.
when Godzilla's like rampaging or whatever, and then the horn players they play like the rips that are just like or whatever, and they all had like dinosaur costumes,
Oh my god.
and so they came out on stage in these things, and then he had one player who was or had one trumpet player who basically played the role of like a narrator, and he wrote stuff, and it actually went over quite. It was a lot of
Okay.
fun to play.
Okay.
So it was sort of a similar like experience,
Yeah.
but very different outcomes, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Oh,
Um,
sounds
so yeah, it's a
ridiculous.
crazy piece.
Only in symphonic band.
Yeah, I haven't played anything like that in a long time.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that you've never played Casey at the Bat. It was. Oh, we all got to wear baseball caps for that song too.
Okay.
So nice. Ooh, it was just an awkward mess.
Hmm.
Um, band is awesome. Clarinet and saxophone. You've played jazz band, symphonic band stuff. Music is just super cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool creative outlet.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you don't like feel like you're that good or whatever, it's very easy to have fun with, and
Yes.
similar to speedrunning, you can see yourself improve, and
Yeah,
it's rewarding.
little by little.
Yeah.
Um, do you remember like any of your favorite songs that you've played in band?
Oh, um, there's a Tekeli piece, "Angels in the Architecture." That one's a lot of fun.
I think I've heard that song.
Let's see. Percy Granger wrote "Molly on the Shore." That's a
Okay.
very heavy clarinet piece. So a
Nice.
lot of fingers, really fast. Other stuff I've played "Blue Shades," also by Tekeli.
Okay, yeah.
That one's really cool. It has a cool clarinet solo. Um, Other stuff like there's classics like "Sweet and F" by
Mm-hmm.
Holst. That one's really fun. I played
Yeah.
that. I played that in a all state, um, whatever it's called, honor band, with the director who I eventually ended up working with in my university, my
Oh,
symphonic
nice.
band director. So I met him like as a sophomore in high school, and then
Huh.
ended up playing in his ensemble for 3 semesters
That's
at my
really cool.
university.
That's awesome. Blue shades, blue shades, blue shades. Um, is there any other hobbies that you find yourself taking part in?
Um,
Anything that takes up your time?
Honestly, at this point, I think gaming and music are the two like hobby things I do.
It's fair. It takes up a lot
Um,
of time.
yeah, I'm in. I'm majoring in computer science, so I do
Okay.
coding, but I don't have too much time to like do that recreationally or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have any big projects going like a game.
Have you thought about doing like? Cause you mentioned you've played Pokemon Uranium. Have you thought about making a Pokemon ROM hack
I have
at all?
not. No,
Okay.
no.
I guess.
I've been playing through Pokemon games that I missed recently. I did playthroughs on stream of Pokemon Black and Pokemon Y
I
because
still
I
haven't
never had
played
a
Black and
3DS,
White.
so I played Gen 3 and Gen 4, and then
Okay.
missed a bunch since then.
Yeah, no, I have too. I think I started playing Pokemon X, but I never finished it. I got it the day it came out too. Oof, I should
Oh yeah.
revisit that maybe. When he mentions the clarinet solo, but not the bass clarinet solo. Rest in peace, bass clarinet players. Always forgotten. um, I guess at this point, does anybody else in chat have questions for Jax while we continue? Um,
I wrote some
Pokemon
stuff down.
Jax.
I wrote some stuff down, but I think we've already talked about all of it. So,
Okay. What's your favorite Pokemon game that you've played then?
ooh, uh, hmm, that's a tough one. Honestly, probably Pokemon Black. That's like the most recent one I
Okay.
did, but it had a really cool region, a lot of new Pokemon. I didn't really mind the fact that like there was nothing from Gens 1 to 4 in there. Um, but yeah, that was a really cool game. If anybody hasn't played that, you can emulate it pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm advising this, I'm just saying that it is possible.
You heard
Uh,
it here first. Jack says pirate
yeah.
games.
For legal reasons, that is not advice.
uh, um, I don't think I've ever played the Gen 5 games, like any of them. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, they're good.
Gooby asks, why is Pesto the besto?
Why is pesto the best? Pesto's pretty good. We my family has basil plants, and so I think there was one year we made
Yes.
a ton of pesto and like froze it for.
Yes, I love it. Um, oh, I can't wait till I can grow basil plants this spring and summer. If you're around for Midwest Speedfest this year, like in July, I'll try to bring pesto to that again. I did this past year. Brought
Okay.
some homemade bread and some pesto, and oof, killer combination. We were munching on it in the lobby. It was an
Like
awesome time.
Costini. Nice.
FC Racers asking, are there any other games you're considering to speedrun? Which we covered for the most part
bit
earlier,
ago.
but
I've like looked at other Pokemon games that I might want to speedrun because
okay.
it was interesting learning the uranium route, but I never
Yeah.
like settled on anything.
Yeah. There are a lot of really good Pokemon speedrunners involved with Midwest Speedfest too. I know Pseudo Trainer has done a lot with those games, some of the older Pokemon games. So if you need somebody to talk to about that, you've got him. Why can't Celeste crawl? That's a good one. Well,
You get a Poggy. Poggy.
Poggy.
There you go. Comment.
Right there. There it is for you. Having basil plants. Please, sir, can you spare a Poggy? I think that pretty much covers it then.
I don't think I have anything else that I was burning to talk about.
Yeah. With that, thank you for coming and doing this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you, learning a little bit more about you.
Thanks
I
for
hope
putting on
to
these
see you at
interviews.
future events,
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely interested in
whether that be
coming to them.
GDQs or Speedfest events. You can follow Jax on Twitch and Twitter at Lmjacks2. They're sort of in the corner down there. So do that. Also, some stuff coming up for Midwest Speedfest. The next event that we're going to have is Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2020.
Yes, online marathon, right?
Yep, completely online. Submissions are open for that and will be until April 1st. And then a preliminary schedule should be available by April 8th, about that time. And
Okay.
any cool online marathons coming up? Well, there's Mid-Spring Speed Fling, of course. I also saw that Calathon is doing one. They just released that, and Resort Fest is coming back again. Resort Fest, of course, help being run by Count Gooby, who is on the admin team for that, and another Fest frequenter Commander used to be on that team as well. Or was it Condor? Oops. One of those two. There's a lot of online marathons happening at this point in time, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean,
of course,
even
with
ESA
everything
might
going
go
on.
online. Who knows with the sort of world health situation.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Mid-Spring Speed Fling coming up. That will be May 1st through the 3rd, I believe are the dates for that. We will be raising money for the OI Foundation, and they raise money for research into osteogenesis imperfecta is the disease that they sort of do research for. Yeah. With that, I want to say Midwest Speedfest Runner Spotlight will be back again next week.
Let's go.
Wednesday,
Who's gonna be on?
7 p.m. And I will be talking to another first-timer for this past marathon for Midwinter. And I'll be talking to Bungeed to the Tree, who closed out the marathon with Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I got some of that run. That was really cool.
It was a really fun time. So stay tuned for that coming up next week. And with that, as is tradition around these parts, we like to raid fellow Midwest Speedfest runners. So I'm going to go pull up some people that are streaming right now.
Who is live?
Yeah, and I will let you decide who we end up rating. All right, so in terms of Fest runners, we've got Velociraptor playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. We have Toddman playing Jackbox. Moonblaze Wolf is playing Final Fantasy IX. Aquana is playing Untitled Goose Game. Tasselfoot is playing Untitled Goose Game. King J is playing Trials of Mana. Imawaka is playing Deadcore, of course. Believe it or not. There's a lot of people on right now. We've got SCXCR playing Trials of Mana as well. Kanish playing Kingdom Hearts. Zojalix is playing Minecraft. George is playing Needs for Speed Carbon. McKelly is playing Dota 2.
So many people
there
on
are
right now.
So many people on.
I
yeah.
guess it's like quarantine o'clock for everybody.
I guess, no kidding.
Oh my god.
Commander is doing some Wii Sports Resort bingo. Zan Damascus is doing some 11 exit runs for Super Mario World.
Hold on, what did you just say? Wii Sports Resort bingo?
Wii Sports Resort Panic Bingo Races. Commander, yeah.
Okay, that sounds like content. All right, let's go there. I have no clue what the string of words that you just said to me is, but let's go there.
They have no meaning outside of just them being words. Okay, yeah. It's decided. We are going to raid Commander then. Who has done a lot of runs with Midwest Speedfest in the past. So, once again, I want to say thank you, Jax, for coming and doing this. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that decided to come out. Hope everybody has a wonderful night and it stays safe out there in the world at this time. Take care. Bye.